Love brought them together. Culture tried to tear them apart. He was an Igbo billionaire with the world at his feet. She was a Fulani girl with faith in her heart. Their love was forbidden. Their family said no. Tradition said no. Religion stood in the way. So they walked away from each other. But 3 weeks later, a secret changed everything. One pregnancy, 4 heartbeats, and a decision that would shake 2 families forever. Will his parents accept her? Why did her parents remain silent, even after she changed their lives? Can love survive when you become your family's breadwinner, but never their choice? Luxury, romance, tears, funny moments, and a love story that will leave you breathless. If you want to see how Red Cap and Hijab unfolds, if you love emotional Nigerian stories with romance, culture, and real-life drama, like this video. Subscribe for more stories, because the next episode, it gets deeper, it gets messier, and somebody's secret is about to come out. Abuja at night looked like a promise. From the glass walls of the Skyview Towers, the city lights shimmered in gold and white, like someone scattered diamonds across the darkness. Inside the building, everything screamed money. Polished marble floors, soft ambient lighting, abstract Nigerian art on the walls, and the quiet hum of air conditioning that felt richer than some people's rent. Chinedu Okafor stepped into the elevator with the kind of confidence that came from never checking price tags. His phone was pressed to his ear. No, the Dubai investors will wait. Abuja first. Close the deal tonight. He ended the call, adjusted the red cap on his head, and exhaled slowly. Long day, too many meetings, too many people wanting a piece of him. Just as the elevator doors were about to slide shut, a hand slipped between them. "Ah, sorry," a soft voice said. Chinedu looked up and paused. She stepped in with grace, like she carried calm wherever she went. Her hijab was a soft shade of cream, wrapped neatly around her face, her eyes clear and observant. She wore a simple long dress, modest but elegant, not flashy, not trying too hard, just beautiful in a quiet way. "Thank you," she said, pressing the button for the 21st floor. Chinedu nodded, suddenly aware of the faint scent of vanilla in the elevator. The doors closed. Silence. The elevator moved, then stopped. The lights flickered once, twice, and then darkness. Zainab froze. "Is this normal?" she asked, her voice steady, but her fingers clutching her bag. Chinedu pressed the emergency button. Nothing happened. He laughed lightly. "Only when destiny wants to embarrass me in front of fine girls." She turned to him. "Excuse me?" He grinned. "I mean, welcome to luxury buildings. They like drama." Despite herself, Zainab laughed, a soft laugh, surprised as if she hadn't planned to. That laugh did something to Chinedu's chest, something small but loud. "Chinedu," he said, stretching out his hand. "Professional elevator hostage." She shook it. "Zainab, innocent victim." The emergency lights came on, casting a warm glow over the elevator's sleek interior. Mirrored walls, brushed metal rails, a faint reflection of 2 strangers suddenly too aware of each other's presence. "So, Zainab the innocent victim," Chinedu teased, "what crime did you commit to be trapped here with me?" She raised an eyebrow. "I came for an internship interview. Now I'm stuck with a stranger who jokes too much." He feigned offense. "That's my brand. Premium jokes only." She laughed again, more freely this time. They talked to kill time. She told him about her tech internship, how Abuja still felt too big, too loud compared to the quieter life she knew. He told her about meetings, deals, and how sometimes success felt like a beautiful cage. "You don't look like someone who complains," she said. "That's because I complain in private," he replied. "I pretend I have everything under control." The elevator hummed back to life. Lights returned. The doors opened. For a second, neither of them moved. Then reality came back. "Looks like we're free," Zainab said. "Unfortunately," Chinedu replied, "I was enjoying our captivity." She smiled, shy this time, and stepped out. As she walked away, Chinedu realized something strange. He didn't want this moment to end like a normal moment. No exchanging glances and disappearing into separate lives. "Zainab," he called. She turned. "If destiny jammed the elevator for us," he said, "the least we can do is get coffee and argue about whose life is more stressful." She hesitated, then nodded. "Just coffee," she warned. He smiled. "Just coffee, for now." And as they walked side by side into the Abuja night, neither of them knew that this small moment in a broken elevator was about to challenge culture, tradition, family, and everything they thought love was supposed to be. The cafe sat on the rooftop of the Skyview complex, all glass walls and soft golden lights. Abuja's skyline stretched out beneath them like a living painting. Inside, the space was pure Nigerian modern luxury: velvet chairs, marble tables, sculpted wooden panels with subtle African patterns, and a quiet hum of soft Afrobeats in the background. Zainab paused at the entrance. "This place looks expensive," she whispered. Chinedu smiled. "Don't worry, the chairs won't charge you for sitting on them." She laughed. "You rich people like exaggerating comfort." They took a seat near the window. The city lights reflected in the glass, making it feel like they were floating above Abuja. The waiter approached. "What can I get you?" "Coffee for her," Chinedu said. "And I'll order for myself," Zainab cut in quickly. Chinedu raised his hands in surrender. "Fair, independent woman. I respect it." She ordered a simple cappuccino. He ordered something with a name so long she couldn't pronounce it. When the waiter left, Zainab studied him. "You dress like someone important." "And you dress like someone who doesn't care about impressing anyone," he replied. "That's rare." She shifted in her seat. "I was raised to be modest. I was raised to be ambitious," he said. "Sometimes I think those two things fight each other in my life." The coffee came. Steam rose between them like a soft barrier. "So," Zainab said, "what do you actually do, Mr. Elevator Destiny?" He hesitated. "I build things. Offices, homes, places people dream of entering." She nodded. "So, real estate?" He laughed. "You reduced my entire empire to 2 words. Better than me reducing it to, 'You're rich,'" she teased. For a moment their eyes met and lingered. The silence wasn't awkward. It was warm, dangerous, the kind that made you forget you were just strangers an hour ago. Zainab broke it first. "Can I ask you something personal?" "Depends. Will I regret answering?" "Probably." He leaned back. "Try me. Do you ever feel lonely?" The question surprised him. Chinedu looked out at the city lights. Every day. Crowded rooms, loud laughter, empty nights. Zainab softened. "I know that feeling. Being surrounded by people who don't really know you." Their fingers brushed accidentally on the table. Neither of them pulled away. A call came in on Chinedu's phone. His screen lit up with a contact name that made Zainab glance away politely. He declined the call. "You're not going to answer?" she asked. "I don't want to ruin this moment," he said honestly. Her heartbeat skipped. "This moment is just coffee." "For now," he replied. They stood to leave. At the entrance, Zainab hesitated again. "Thank you for the coffee," she said, "but we come from very different worlds. This shouldn't become anything complicated." Chinedu smiled gently. "I like complicated. Simple gets boring." She shook her head, half smiling. "You're trouble, and you're about to be the reason I enjoy it." She walked away, heart racing. Chinedu watched her disappear into the night, already knowing one thing. This wasn't just coffee. This was the beginning of a story neither of them was ready for. 2 weeks passed, and somehow the Zainab and Chinedu slipped into each other's lives like it was the most natural thing in the world. They met in quiet cafes, art lounges, and once in a private gallery with walls painted in warm earth tones and soft spotlights over modern African sculptures. Every place had that polished Nigerian luxury feel. Tasteful, calm, expensive without shouting. Yet Zainab always dressed modestly. Flowing gowns, her hijab neat and elegant. Chinedu always wore his tailored traditional fits with his red cap, when he wasn't in a suit. Two worlds walking side by side. One evening, they sat on the balcony of Chinedu's Abuja penthouse. The interior behind them glowed softly. Neutral-toned couches, gold accents, floor-to-ceiling curtains moving gently with the night breeze. Abuja breathed below them. Zainab held her cup of tea with both hands. "You live in a beautiful place," Chinedu shrugged. "Beautiful places can still feel empty." She smiled softly. "You really like calling yourself lonely?" "I really like that you notice," he replied. A comfortable silence settled between them. Then her phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen and stiffened slightly. "Everything okay?" he asked. "My mother," she said. "She wants to know where I am." Chinedu raised an eyebrow. "Tell her you're with a billionaire. That should calm her nerves." Zainab laughed despite herself. "If I tell her that, she'll come and drag me by my hijab." He winced. "Noted, I will not fight Fulani mothers." She hesitated, then spoke carefully. "Chinedu, what are we doing?" "We're enjoying each other's company," he said easily. "That's how trouble starts," she replied. He turned to face her. "Do you like me?" Her silence answered him. He reached for her hand, but stopped halfway, respecting the space she needed. "I like you too," he said quietly, "more than I planned to." Zainab exhaled slowly. "My faith, my family, your culture, none of this is simple." Chinedu smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Since when has anything worth having been simple?" She looked at him. "You talk like love is enough." "For me, it is," he said. "For me," she replied softly, "love is only the beginning of the fight." The words sat heavy between them. In that moment, both of them saw the lines they had been stepping over without noticing. Religion, tradition, expectations waiting in the shadows. Still, when the night grew cold, Chinedu offered her his jacket. She took it. Not as a promise, not as a surrender, just as two people choosing, for now, not to let go. Rain fell softly over Abuja, turning the city lights into blurry gold streaks against the windows of Chinedu's penthouse. Inside, the living room glowed with warm ambient lighting. Cream leather sofas, soft rugs, gold-trimmed decor, and quiet music in the background gave the space a hushed, intimate mood, the kind of room that made whispers feel loud. Zainab stood by the window, her reflection faint in the glass. Her hijab was still neatly in place, her gown flowing around her like she was part of the night itself. Chinedu watched her from across the room. "You always look like you're about to disappear," he said softly. She turned. "And you always look like you're trying to hold on to something." They shared a small, knowing smile. The rain grew heavier. Zainab hugged her arms. "It's cold." He walked over and draped a light shawl over her shoulders, his fingers brushing her skin by accident. The touch lingered, just a second too long. Their eyes met. The air changed. Neither of them moved, but the space between them felt smaller than it should have been. "This is dangerous," Zainab whispered. Chinedu's voice was low. "So is pretending we don't feel this." She looked down, her breath uneven. "I've been fighting this since the elevator." "And I've been losing since the cafe," he admitted. Silence wrapped around them, thick with everything they hadn't said. Chinedu lifted his hand slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. His fingers rested gently against her cheek. Zainab closed her eyes. When he leaned in, the kiss was soft at first, careful, almost unsure, not rushed, not hungry, just two people admitting what their hearts had been screaming for weeks. She pulled back slightly, resting her forehead against his chest. "This changes things," she murmured. "It already has," he replied. That night, they didn't rush into anything wild or reckless. It wasn't about heat, it was about surrender, about choosing each other in a moment when the world outside felt too loud, too complicated, too cruel. They moved slowly, with care, with trembling hands and whispered breaths. It felt less like passion and more like finally exhaling after holding their breath for too long. Later, they lay side by side, the rain still tapping softly against the windows. Zainab stared at the ceiling. "I'm scared." Chinedu turned to her. "So am I." She laughed quietly. "You're afraid? Billionaire with everything in life?" He brushed his thumb over her hand. I'm afraid because this is the one thing money can't protect me from. She turned toward him, eyes soft. Then we're equally in trouble. They lay there in silence, two hearts beating in the same space, both knowing they had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. Outside, Abuja kept shining. Inside, their story took a turn neither of them could run from anymore. Morning light slipped through the tall curtains of Chinedu's penthouse, soft and unforgiving. The city outside was waking up. Cars humming, distant horns, life continuing like nothing special had happened the night before. Inside, everything felt different. Zainab sat at the edge of the bed, her hijab back in place, her gown neatly arranged. She looked calm, but her fingers twisted together in her lap, betraying the storm in her chest. Chinedu leaned against the headboard, watching her with the kind of quiet attention that came after something sacred had been shared. "Are you okay?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "I'm okay. I'm just thinking." "Thinking about us?" he teased gently. "Thinking about everything," she replied. "Us, my faith, my family, your family, the consequences." He sat up. "Do you regret last night?" She shook her head. "No, that's the scary part." They shared a small, sad smile. The penthouse living room was bright now, the luxury details sharp in the daylight, polished floors, soft neutral sofas, gold accents that caught the sun. The beauty of the space felt almost ironic against the heaviness in the air. Zainab stood by the window. "Last night felt like we paused the world," she said, "but the world didn't pause with us." Chinedu walked up behind her, careful not to cross any lines. "Then we'll face it together." She turned. "You say that easily." "I don't mean it easily," he replied. "I mean it seriously." Her phone rang. She glanced at the screen. Her mother. Zainab closed her eyes for a second before answering. "Hello, Mama." The conversation was short. Too short. When she ended the call, her shoulders sagged. "She wants me home this weekend," Zainab said. "They've been asking questions. They think I'm changing." Chinedu frowned. "Are you?" She looked at him. "I think I already have." Another call came in, this time Chinedu's phone. His mother. He answered, listening quietly. His expression tightened. "She heard rumors," he said after hanging up. "Apparently Abuja aunties work faster than Google." Zainab gave a weak laugh. "So this is how it starts. This is how it gets real," he corrected. They stood in silence, the space between them filled with everything they hadn't figured out yet. Chinedu broke it first. "I'm not asking you to choose me over your family." She met his eyes. "But loving you feels like I already did." He reached for her hand, not to pull her closer, just to remind her she wasn't alone. Outside, Abuja moved on like nothing had changed. Inside, two people realized that love wasn't just about what you felt in the dark. It was about what you were willing to face in the light. The week passed like a storm cloud moving across Abuja, quiet on the surface, but full of tension beneath. Zainab stepped off the plane at Enugu Airport, her heart racing. She wore a modest beige gown with a soft cream hijab, carrying herself with the calm dignity of a Fulani woman, but inside, she felt anything but calm. Chinedu's red cap sat perfectly on his head as he came forward to meet her. Even now, in his tailored agbada and polished shoes, he looked untouchable, like someone born to face the world without fear. "Ready for battle?" he whispered, giving her a small, teasing smile. Zainab rolled her eyes, but a small smile escaped. "Let's call it diplomacy." The Igbo side, Chinedu's parents had gathered in the drawing room of the family estate. The walls were lined with art from their ancestral village, modernized with clean lines and luxury touches. "Chinedu, this is serious," his father said, voice tight. "A Fulani girl, Muslim, what are you thinking?" Chinedu met his father's eyes evenly. "I'm thinking, I love her, and no, that's not negotiable." His mother adjusted her beads, frowning. "Love doesn't pay respect to tradition, Chinedu. It cannot. We cannot bless this marriage, not yet." He smiled faintly. "Blessing can come later. Right now, I only ask for understanding." They stared at him for a long moment, trying to weigh the man they thought they knew against the man standing in front of them. The Fulani side. The following week, Zainab's parents gathered in their modest Yobe home. The small living room smelled faintly of tea and goat milk. Her father sat with his arms crossed. Her mother stared silently at the floor. "You're seeing him?" her father asked finally, voice quiet but sharp. "You know the world he lives in." Zainab stood tall. "I know, Baba, and I choose him." Her father shook his head. "Choosing him does not erase your responsibilities. You know who we are." Her mother finally spoke, softly but pointedly. "Do not forget your people." Zainab's heart sank. She wanted approval, a smile, any sign that they accepted her choice, but there was none, just silence heavy enough to crush her spirit. Love under fire. That night, back in Chinedu's estate, Zainab sat on the veranda, overlooking the lights of the city. The wind played with her hijab. Chinedu came up behind her, gently brushing a stray hair from her face. "They don't understand," he said quietly, "and that's their problem, not ours." "I know," she replied, "but it hurts anyway." He wrapped his arms around her shoulders. "Then let me hurt with you." She leaned into him. "And what about us? How do we survive all this?" "We survive because we want it more than they want to stop it," he said. Her eyes met his. In the soft glow of the veranda lights, they didn't need to speak the words. Love, defiance, and hope were all written there. A whisper of danger. Neither of them realized that in the back of Zainab's mind, a tiny spark of fear had started to grow. A fear that one wrong word, one angry call, one whisper of family gossip could undo everything. And they were both about to find out that love alone would not be enough. The next challenge was already coming. A challenge that would test not just their hearts, but their patience, their courage, and their ability to stand together when everyone around them wanted them to fall apart. The first signs were small. Zainab had missed a few days, felt unusually tired, and had a quiet sense that something inside her had shifted. One evening, sitting in Chinedu's penthouse kitchen, marble countertops gleaming under soft gold lights, she finally admitted it to herself. "I think I'm pregnant." Her fingers trembled as she held the test in front of her. Chinedu, leaning against the counter in a perfectly tailored agbada, froze mid-sip of his espresso. "Say that again?" he asked, his voice caught somewhere between disbelief and hope. "I'm pregnant," Zainab whispered, barely daring to breathe. The silence that followed was heavy, filled with all the unspoken fears, joys, and responsibilities between them. Then Chinedu laughed, deep, nervous, almost hysterical. "After all the arguing, after all the family drama, God says you two are not playing fair." Zainab shook her head, a small smile breaking through her nerves. "You're ridiculous. And you're my problem now," he teased, brushing a stray hair from her face. "And I'll take it." The families react. The news could not stay secret for long. Chinedu's parents softened first. Their red-capped son had brought life into the world, not just love. His father nodded slowly at the announcement, placing his hands over his heart. Perhaps love is stronger than our stubbornness," he said quietly. His mother, eyes glistening, finally smiled. "We bless this marriage, but you both must promise balance and respect for tradition." Zainab's parents, however, there was no smile, no congratulations, no blessings. Her father simply nodded once and returned to his chair. Her mother said nothing, yet when Zainab mentioned a minor financial need for her family back in Yobe, the calls came faster than ever. "Zainab, we need help. Zainab, your brother's school fees. Zainab, send something for mother." Every time, she helped. Every time, she gave. Every time she watched her parents stay silent about her marriage, about her child, about the life she was building with Chinedu. 9 months later, in a private hospital suite designed with luxury in mind, soft white linens, gold accents, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, the moment arrived. The doctor stepped out, exhaustion and awe in equal measure. "Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Okafor. You have 4 healthy babies." Chinedu blinked. "4 what?" "Quadruplets," the doctor said, smiling tiredly. 2 boys, 2 girls. Chinedu sank into the chair, holding Zainab's hand tightly. "You're joking," he whispered. "No joke," she said weakly, a small laugh escaping her lips. "See what your stubbornness has done?" He laughed through tears. "Your stubbornness," he corrected. From that day, their lives changed forever. New roles, new power. Zainab became the anchor, the mother, the breadwinner for a family that refused to bless her marriage but had no problem calling on her for help. From a cramped one-room apartment in Yobe, she brought her family into a duplex in Abuja, luxurious, tastefully decorated with modern Nigerian aesthetics. Cream walls, soft lighting, gold accents, and wide spaces for her quadruplets to grow. She was firm but fair. She was stern but loving. And despite her parents' silence, she never hesitated to give them help. Chinedu watched her in awe, holding their youngest twins in one arm, while she juggled the babies, family calls, and household management. "You really are unstoppable," he whispered, brushing her hair from her face. "And you really are hopelessly in love," she teased. He kissed her forehead gently. Completely. Outside, Abuja sparkled under the night sky. Inside, a red cap and a hijab ruled their own world, full of love, defiance, and the kind of family no one else could understand. But one question remained. Would her parents ever truly bless the life she had built? Or would silence remain their weapon? Love brought them together. But family pressure never sleeps. Zainab is strong, fearless, and unstoppable. She built a life of luxury, love, and laughter, quadruplets in tow. She became the breadwinner of a family that refuses to bless her marriage. Her parents stay silent until they start asking for more. More money, more favors, more control. And Chinedu? He loves her fiercely. But can even a billionaire protect the woman he loves when cultural clashes, religious traditions, and family greed threaten to tear them apart? Secrets, lies, and unexpected challenges are coming. Will their love survive, or will their world crumble under pressure? Don't miss the next chapter of Red Cap and Hijab, full of romance, drama, laughter, and luxury. Like, subscribe, and watch as love fights for its place in a world full of tradition, expectations, and unspoken rules. Because in this story, nothing is as simple as it seems.